Hey everyone, Elizabeth here. The last laugh delivers stories that leave you speechless. If you're here for it, hit subscribe and let's go. The family meeting was already in progress when I arrived at Mom's house. I could hear voices from the kitchen, excited, conspiratorial voices that dropped to whispers when I opened the front door. Emma's here, my younger brother Jake called out, not quite managing to hide the nervousness in his voice. I walked into the kitchen to find them all gathered around the table, Mom, my older sister Rachel, her husband David, and Jake. There were papers spread across the surface, a laptop open, and champagne glasses already poured. There she is. Rachel beamed at me with that smile I'd learned to distrust over the years. We've been waiting for you. Sit down. We have amazing news. I set my purse on the counter and remained standing. What's going on? We've figured out a solution to David's business expansion problem, Mom said, practically glowing with pride. Rachel came up with the most brilliant idea. David's business was a luxury car detailing service that had been about to take off for the past 5 years. Every few months, there was a new scheme, a new investment opportunity, a new reason why this time would be different. We're going to take out a loan against your condo, Rachel announced, like she was telling me I'd won the lottery. I blinked. I'm sorry, what? Your condo downtown. You've been living there for what, 3 years? The value must have gone up significantly. David needs $340,000 for equipment and a second location. We can get a home equity loan against your place. You're going to take a loan against my home? I said slowly, making sure I'd heard correctly. It's perfect, Jake chimed in. You're not using the equity. It's just sitting there. And David's business will pay it back in like 2 years, max probably less. I looked at each of them. They were serious. Completely serious. And when did I agree to this? Rachel waved her hand dismissively. Oh, don't be difficult, Em. This is family. David's success is all of our success. Besides, the loan payments will barely affect you. It's not like you're paying a mortgage anyway. That last part was technically true. I'd paid cash for the condo 3 years ago, $485,000 to be exact. But they didn't know that. They thought I was renting with an option to buy, maybe, someday, if I ever got my act together. Rachel, I'm not taking out a loan for David's business. The room temperature dropped 10 degrees. Emma. Mom's voice took on that disappointed tone I knew so well. This is your sister. Your family. We help each other. Then David can take out a loan against his own assets. We've tried, David said, shifting uncomfortably. Banks won't give us the amount we need. But with your condo as collateral, my condo that I live in. That's my home. And you'll still live in it. Rachel was getting frustrated now. God, Emma, why are you being so selfish about this? It's just paperwork. The loan doesn't affect you at all. Except it's my name on a $340,000 debt. That David will pay back, Mom interjected. You won't pay a penny. You're just facilitating. I crossed my arms. No. No? Rachel's voice went up an octave. What do you mean, no? I mean I'm not using my home as collateral for someone else's business loan. That's not happening. David stood up, his face reddening. This is unbelievable. We're family. I thought I could count on you. You can count on me for a lot of things. You can't count on me to risk my housing for your car detailing business. It's not just car detailing. David slammed his hand on the table. It's a luxury service with high-end clientele. Do you know how much money there is in this market? If there's so much money in it, take out your own loan. Rachel stood up too, tears forming in her eyes, her signature manipulation move. I cannot believe you're doing this to me. To us. After everything we've done for you. What have you done for me, exactly? Are you serious right now? She looked at Mom for support. Mom, tell her. Mom sighed heavily. Emma, when you were struggling after college, who let you stay here rent-free for 6 months? I was 22 and between apartments. That was 12 years ago. And when you needed a car, who co-signed your loan? Jake added. A loan I paid off in full, 3 years early. A loan. That's not the point, Rachel snapped. The point is we've been there for you, and now you won't be there for us. You're living in a fancy condo downtown, probably making decent money at that tech company, and you won't help your own family. The tech company. Right. The mid-level position they thought I had. What they didn't know, what IED never told them, was that I didn't work for the tech company anymore. I'd left 4 years ago to start my own software development firm. A firm that had secured 3 major contracts in its first year and had grown to 15 employees. A firm that generated $2.3 million in revenue last year. They also didn't know that I owned my condo outright. Or that I'd purchased the unit below mine 2 years ago when it went on the market. Or that I'd purchased the entire building 6 months ago when the owner decided to sell. My condo. I owned a 12-unit building in downtown Portland. My family thought I was a mid-level tech worker who maybe, possibly, might own one condo someday. I'm not discussing this anymore, I said. The answer is no. Fine. Rachel grabbed her purse. But don't come crying to us when you need something. This family works both ways, Emma. Remember that. They left in a storm of slammed doors and angry mumbles. Mom gave me a long, disappointed look before following them out. I stood in the empty kitchen and let out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. That should have been the end of it. 2 weeks later, I got a call from my bank. Ms. Wilson? This is Patricia Reeves from Premier National Bank. I'm calling about the home equity loan application we received. I was at my office, reviewing code with my senior developer. I'm sorry, what loan application? The application for a $340,000 home equity line of credit against your property at 847 Morrison Street, Unit 3B. My condo. I didn't submit any loan application. There was a pause. The application came in 3 days ago with your signature. We need you to come in and verify some information before we can proceed with the approval. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I grabbed my keys and drove straight to the bank. Patricia Reeves met me in her office, a professional woman in her 50s with sharp eyes that missed nothing. Ms. Wilson, thank you for coming in so quickly. She slid a folder across the desk. This is the application we received. As you can see, it requests $340,000 against your condo. The signature appears to be yours, but several details in the application don't match our records. I opened the folder and felt my blood pressure spike. There was my name, my address, my social security number. And a signature that looked remarkably like mine but wasn't. Rachel had always been good at forgery. She'd signed my name on permission slips in high school, on birthday cards from both of us, on countless things over the years. I'd thought it was annoying but harmless. No. This wasn't harmless. This isn't my signature, I said quietly. And I didn't authorize this application. Patricia's expression hardened. I see. Ms. Wilson, do you know who might have submitted this? My sister. Rachel Mitchell. She's married to David Mitchell. They asked me 2 weeks ago to take out a loan against my condo for his business. I said no. And the phone number listed here? I looked. It was Rachel's cell number. That's my sister's number. Patricia made notes, her pen scratching across paper. Ms. Wilson, this is fraud. Identity theft. You understand that? Yes. We'll need to file a report with our fraud department. And I'd recommend filing a police report as well. My stomach churned. Can we wait on that? Let me talk to my family first. Patricia gave me a long look. Ms. Wilson, someone forged your signature to attempt to secure $340,000 in your name. This isn't a family disagreement. This is a crime. I know. But they're still my family. Give me 24 hours to handle this privately first. She hesitated, then nodded. 24 hours. But Ms. Wilson, I need to verify some information in our system. According to our records, you own more than just Unit 3B at 847 Morrison Street. Yes. I own Unit 2B as well. Our records show you own the entire building. I met her eyes. That's correct. Understanding dawned across her face. So even if you had authorized this loan, the bank would need authorization from the building owner. Which is me. They were trying to take out a loan against a single unit in a building I own. It wouldn't have worked anyway. A small smile crossed Patricia's lips. No, it wouldn't have. Does your family know about your property holdings? No. I see. She closed the folder. Well, Ms. Wilson, I'm going to deny this application due to the discrepancies we've found. If the applicant contacts us to ask why, what would you like me to tell them? Tell them the truth. That the building owner needs to authorize any loans against individual units, and the building owner has declined. I can do that. I left the bank and sat in my car for 10 minutes, hands shaking on the steering wheel. Then I called my lawyer. Emma, good to hear from you, Marcus Chan answered. What's going on? I explained the situation. The family meeting, the forged loan application, everything. Emma, you need to file a police report. I know. But I want to give them one chance to make this right. Can you draft a letter for me? Something official, laying out what happened and what the consequences could be. You mean a cease and desist with the threat of prosecution if they try anything like this again? Exactly. I can have it ready by tomorrow morning. Thank you, Marcus. That evening, I called a family meeting of my own. Told everyone to meet at Mom's house at 7 p.m. Said it was important. They all showed up, probably thinking I'd changed my mind about the loan. I walked in to find them already celebrating. There was wine open. Rachel was showing Mom something on her laptop, both of them laughing. Emma. Rachel jumped up, surprisingly friendly. We're so glad you came. We wanted to apologize for how we acted last time. We understand this is a big ask. We know you need time to think about it, Mom added. And that's fine. We can wait. I set my bag down and pulled out the folder Patricia had given me. You don't need to wait. I already have my answer. And I know what you did. Rachel's smile faltered. What are you talking about? The loan application you submitted in my name. With my forged signature. The room went deadly silent. I don't know what you mean, Rachel started. Yes, you do. You forged my signature on a $340,000 home equity loan application for my condo. The bank called me this morning. David stood up, face pale. Rachel, you said you were going to talk to her first. Shut up, David, Rachel hissed. So you admit it. I looked at my sister. You committed fraud. Identity theft. Do you understand how serious that is? It's not fraud if it's family, Jake said uncertainly. Right? It's absolutely fraud. It's a federal crime. Mom was shaking her head. Emma, surely you're overreacting. Rachel wouldn't, Mom, she forged my signature on loan documents. The bank has the paperwork. They have her phone number listed as the contact. This isn't a misunderstanding. Rachel's face had gone from pale to red. You know what? Yes, I did it. Because I knew you'd say no, and I knew you were just being selfish. You have that condo just sitting there, gaining value, and you won't help your own family. It's my home. It's just a piece of property. Rachel was screaming now. David's business is our future. Our children's future. But you don't care about that because you're too busy being precious about your little condo. Rachel. My voice was quiet, controlled. The bank denied the application. She blinked. What? They denied it. Do you know why? Because you told them to, she spat. No. Because according to their records, any loan against a unit at 847 Morrison Street requires authorization from the building owner. I watched comprehension slowly dawn on her face. The building owner, I continued, being me. I own the entire building, Rachel. All 12 units. I bought it 6 months ago. Dead silence. You're lying, Rachel whispered. I pulled out my phone and opened my property management app. Showed her the screen displaying all 12 units, occupancy rates, rent roll, maintenance requests. I own the building. I own the unit below mine. I own the entire property. Mom had gone completely white. Emma, how could you afford? I own a software development company. Have for 4 years. Last year we brought in $2.3 million in revenue. I bought my condo with cash 3 years ago. I've been saving and investing ever since. Jake's voice was barely a whisper. But you work at that tech company. I left 4 years ago. Started my own firm. 15 employees now. David sank into his chair. So when the bank called asking for the building owner's authorization, they called me. And I said no. Rachel's hands were shaking. You let us think you were just some mid-level employee. You let us think you were barely getting by. I didn't let you think anything. You assumed. You never asked about my life, my work, my plans. You just decided I was the family failure and treated me accordingly. This is insane. Rachel grabbed the wine bottle and took a long drink straight from it. You're rich? You've been rich this whole time and you never told us? Would it have mattered? Would you have treated me better if you knew I had money? Or would you have just asked for more? The question hung in the air. Mom's voice was thin. We would have been proud of you. Would you? Because 2 weeks ago, you told me I was selfish for not risking my home for David's business. Now you're telling me you would have been proud. If we'd known. If you'd known I was successful, you would have respected me. That's the problem, Mom. Your respect was conditional on my bank account. Rachel was pacing now, practically vibrating with rage. So what happens now? You're just going to hold this over us forever. I pulled out the letter Marcus had drafted. Now, you're going to read this cease and desist letter from my attorney. It explains that if you attempt anything like this again, forging my signature, using my identity, trying to access my assets, I will file a police report and press charges. Identity theft is a federal crime. You could go to prison. I set the letter on the table. I'm giving you one chance, I continued. One chance to walk away from this without criminal consequences. But if you ever try something like this again, I won't hesitate. Rachel snatched up the letter, read it, then threw it across the room. You're threatening me? Your own sister? You committed fraud against me. Against your own sister. So yes, I'm protecting myself. We're family. Family doesn't forge signatures. Family doesn't commit identity theft. Family doesn't try to steal from each other. David had his head in his hands. Rachel, what did you do? Do you know what this could mean for my business if there's a criminal investigation? Your business? Rachel turned on him. That's what you're worried about? Yes. If your sister presses charges. She won't. She's bluffing. Rachel turned back to me. You won't actually call the police on your own family. I pulled out my phone. Want to test that theory? Mom stepped between us. Emma, please. Don't do this. Yes, Rachel made a mistake, a crime, Mom. She committed a crime. But she's your sister. Think about her children. Think about what this would do to the family. I am thinking about the family. I'm thinking about what would have happened if that loan had gone through. If I'd been on the hook for $340,000 of debt I didn't authorize. If David's business had failed and the bank had come after my property. That wouldn't have happened, David muttered. How do you know? Your business has been about to take off for 5 years. You couldn't get a legitimate loan from a bank. So you decided to commit fraud instead. We were desperate, Rachel said, and now she was crying. Real tears this time, not manipulation. David's business is everything. We've invested so much. If it fails, then it fails. And you deal with that like adults. You don't commit crimes. Jake finally spoke up. Emma, I think you're being kind of harsh. They made a mistake, Jake. If someone forged your signature to take out a loan for hundreds of thousands of dollars, would you call it a mistake? He opened his mouth. Closed it. Said nothing. I picked up my bag. I'm leaving. You all have 24 hours to decide if you want to make this right or if I need to file a police report. If you want to make it right, Rachel apologizes in writing, you agree to never try anything like this again, and we go our separate ways for a while. If not, I call the police and let them handle it. Emma, wait, Mom started. No, Mom. I'm done. I'm done being treated like the family failure. I'm done being taken advantage of. I'm done pretending to be less successful than I am just to make everyone else feel better. I walked to the door, then turned back. By the way, the bank manager who called me about the fraudulent loan application? Her name is Patricia Reeves. She has all the documentation. The forged signature, Rachel's phone number, everything. If I don't call her by tomorrow afternoon to confirm you're making this right, she's filing her own fraud report with the FBI. This isn't just about me anymore. Rachel. Rachel's face went from red to white in an instant. The FBI? Bank fraud is a federal crime. So yes, the FBI. I left them sitting in stunned silence. The next morning, I received an email. From Rachel. Emma, I'm sorry. I was desperate and I made a terrible choice. I should never have forged your signature. I should never have tried to use your property without your permission. I was wrong. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just want you to know that I understand what I did was a crime, and I understand why you're angry. I won't contact you again unless you want me to. I accept whatever consequences you decide. Rachel. It wasn't much. But it was something. I called Patricia Reeves. The issue has been resolved privately. The parties involved have acknowledged the fraud and agreed to cease and desist. I don't want to pursue criminal charges. Are you sure, Ms. Wilson? I'm sure. But I want all the documentation kept on file in case anything happens in the future. Absolutely. And Ms. Wilson? For what it's worth, I'm glad you stood up for yourself. Over the next few weeks, I received sporadic messages from family members. Mom asked if we could have coffee. Jake sent a meme with, "Sorry I was an idiot," attached. David sent a formal apology letter, clearly written by a lawyer. Rachel didn't contact me again. 3 months later, I was at a coffee shop when I saw her. She was alone, looking tired. She saw me too. For a moment, we just stared at each other. Then she walked over. Can I sit? Sure. She sat down, ordered a coffee, waited until the barista left. My marriage is falling apart. David's business failed. We're probably going to have to declare bankruptcy. I'm sorry. Are you? I thought about it. Yeah, actually, I am. I didn't want any of that to happen to you. I know. She twisted her coffee cup. I was so jealous of you. Your whole life. You were always smarter, more independent, more capable. And I thought I'd beaten you by marrying David, by having kids, by having the perfect life. Then I found out you'd been successful this whole time and I just lost it. Rachel. I'm not asking for anything, she interrupted. I'm not asking for money or help or forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that I see it now. I see what I did. And I'm sorry. We sat in silence for a moment. I hope things get better for you, I said finally. I really do. Thanks. She stood up. For what it's worth, Mom talks about you all the time now. She brags about your company to her friends. Shows them articles about you. She's proud. Now that there's something to brag about. Yeah. Rachel smiled sadly. Now that there's something to brag about. We're messed up, aren't we? Pretty much. She left, and I sat with my coffee, watching the city move past the window. I didn't need their approval anymore. Didn't need their respect. I'd built something real, something mine, without their help or their permission. And that was enough. Have you ever had a family member try to take advantage of you financially? Or discovered that your family only respected you once you proved your success? Drop your story in the comments below, You'd be surprised how many people have been through something similar.